The tale starts with a youth named Hanson fleeing in terror from an unidentified entity. He was devoid of clothing, and during his frantic dash for safety, he tumbles from atop a roof, sustaining grave injuries. Subsequently, the narrative rewinds 36 hours to show Hanson in the company of an affluent young woman, since he was sinking under a mountain of debt. He only dated girls who were rich through a dating website because Hanson's plan was to marry a wealthy girl and pay off his debts with her fortune. Thus, he was constantly on the lookout for a rich girl to marry. Here, the girl learns about Hanson's intentions, rejects him, and even humiliates him. In response, Hanson doesn't say anything but quietly picks up the cake he brought and leaves. The narrative provides a glimpse into Hanson's difficult situation, elucidating that he had no desire to squander the funds expended on the pastry. Subsequently, we observe Hanson employed at a zoo, a role he took on to fulfill his basic necessities. Around the same time, he's contacted by a customer service agent from the matchmaking service where he was involved to connect with affluent women, informing him of an upcoming date. The day after, Hanson is greeted with a video conversation from his dad. His psychological well-being was compromised, thus he resided in a psychiatric facility. He consistently conveyed bizarre notions, genuinely convinced that Hanson possessed the role of a secret operative. During said call, it's evident that the hospital personnel are disdainful towards Hanson's father, sharply cautioning Hanson that failure to settle the medical debts would result in his father's expulsion. Filled with sorrow, Hanson proceeds to engage with yet another wealthy female companion. And this time, the girl who comes to meet him is greatly liked by Hanson. She introduces herself as Xiao Bei and says that she has been looking for him for a long time. And during the conversation, Xiao Bei also mentions that she is actually a fox demon, known to some as human hybrids. As Xiao Bei was revealing about herself, Hanson's mind wasn't on her, but rather on some thugs that had arrived. Perhaps they were there for Hanson, to escape whom Hanson gets up and heads to the restroom, but those goons follow Hanson even there. In reality, Hanson owed these people 2 million yuan, a debt he hadn't paid off yet. Therefore, they beat him up and take him to their boss. Reaching their boss, he asks for a few more days to settle his debt, to which the boss grants him only 1 day, warning that if he doesn't return the money by then, he'll kill him and sell his body parts to recover the funds. Afterwards, Hanson reaches his home, where Xiao Bei, the girl, comes to meet him. Seeing her in his home, Hanson first panics and then asks her the reason for her visit. Xiao Bei ignores his words and begins to look for marks of injury on his body, and as soon as she sees it, Xiao Bei becomes very happy. In fact, when he was young, he had saved a fox's life. It was during that time that Hanson got injured and Xiao Bei was a fox. Hence, Xiao Bei had been waiting for Hanson to grow up so that she could marry him. However, Hanson wasn't believing what Xiao Bei said. She has the characteristics of a fox demon. Thus, whenever she's around him, Xiao Bei transforms into a box following a substantial intake of liquids. Out of the blue, she morphs into an enormous fox. This display of transformation terrifies Hanson, prompting him to hastily distance himself from the creature. In response to his actions, the irate fox savagely rips through Hanson's attire. For what reason? Perceiving that she might desire to devour him, Hanson makes every attempt to escape her presence. During this period, the fox was following him, and meanwhile, we are shown the world of hybrids where we see a man named Detective Holmes. Actually, Holmes worked in a detective agency whose job was to live in the world of hybrids and make sure that every hybrid was following the rules, one of which was that no hybrid could change its form in front of any human. Upon breaking this rule, they would intervene to stop them. Xiao Bei did exactly this, so some agents immediately rushed to stop him. On the other hand, when Hanson had no place left to run, he stopped and the box did nothing. But when Hanson tries to touch the box, it roars loudly, causing him to fall from the ceiling. Yet at that moment, an agent arrives and saves his life. At the same time, they try to erase the memories of all the humans present who had seen Xiao Bei in the form of pox. In this scene, agents toss a compact gadget in the direction of each individual. One of them Xiao Bei obliterates before it approaches Hanson. Unfortunately, the unfortunate girl, who succumbed to unconsciousness from too much alcohol, is seized and whisked away by the assailants. They also render Handsome unconscious before leaving the scene, and subsequently we observe Handsome back in his residence the following day, having recovered from his blackout. Nevertheless, those identical thugs once again harass Handsome. Additionally, Xiao Baby arrives there to save Hansen from the thugs. It is quite evident that she has escaped from an agent. Xiao Bei, this time to save Hansen, turns into half a fox and scares everything. That is, her face was of a fox's and the rest of her body was human, which made the goons run away in fear. But again about this feat of hers had been discovered. But this time, instead of going to capture her, Hong sends the same memory creating device again. And once again, Xiao Bei destroys the device before it can reach Handsome. She also has the same conversation with Handsome. She says that since you saved my life, I must marry you. No matter what happens, I will do anything to have you. Handsome laughs and says that at that time, he accidentally saved her life without any such intention, so she should leave and let him be alone because he has many other problems in his life. A hybrid hawk arrives because An held the position of commissioner at the agency, so everyone had to heed his words. Junhong is told that Xiao Bei is a special kind of hybrid and must be stopped at all costs because she is obsessed with marrying a common human. But I cannot tolerate that hybrid's blood gets tainted by mixing with human blood. Thus Xiao Bei has to be halted by all means imperative. Danson again comes to meet another rich girl who also becomes willing to marry him. She also promises to Handsome that I will repay all your debts, but in return, my only condition is that I will never have a relationship with you, and after a few months of marriage, we will get divorced, so that after that, I can marry the boy of my choice, because then my parents will not stop me like now. Handsome also accepts his condition, but only then. The body also comes there and she speaks to that girl that I am his wife. Because of that, girl leaves there and Hansen's plan also spreads. Because of this, Handsome gets very angry and tells Xiao Bei that I have to marry a rich girl so that I can pay off all my debts, etc. Or you can give me so much money. Hearing this from Handsome here, Xiao Bei leaves sadly from there. Subsequently, the commissioner himself, Debt-Ridden, visits Handsome to inform him that centuries ago, some creatures with unique genetics arrived on Earth and began living secretly among humans. Due to living within Earth's ecosystem over time, they also underwent mutation, and we came to be known as hybrids. Here, giving Handsome an injection, instructs him to apply it to Xiao Bei's neck in any way possible. After that, we'll handle everything. In exchange, he tempts, saying that if you do this, I will give you so much money that you can end all your troubles and lead a life of luxury and ease. After saying so much, leaves from there, and Handsome is left to ponder whether he should do it or not. Encounters Xiao Bei, and there, Xiao Bei presents him with the little earnings acquired from collecting waste. Hansen tells him that this much money won't do anything. I need many times more money. Along with that, Handsome also has a good chance to give Xiao Bei the injection, but for some reason, he doesn't do it. In the meantime, to earn more money, Xiao Bei goes to work as a dancer in a club. As soon as Hansen finds out about this, he arrives there and takes Xiao Bei away from that place, clearly showing his concern for her. He tells Xiao Bei all about Commissioner Yun's offer, upon hearing which, Xiao Benson tells him that if this solves your problem, then I am asking you myself, please give me this injection. But instead of doing so, Hansen confesses his love for her, after which both of them get married according to the ritual described by Xiao Bei. In this ritual, Xiao Bei makes a cut on her hand and Handsome makes a cut on his hand. Then, joining hands, they complete the process. Obviously, the people of Xiao Bei must marry in that manner. On the other side, we see Commissioner Yun receiving the news of the whereabouts of Xiao Bei and Hansen. He immediately reaches the club, only to find out that Aud learns they have already left the place. Afterward, Hong and all the other agents surround Hansen and Xiao Bei as they near his house, during which we observe tries to create a distraction so that Xiao Bei and Hansen can escape, but they fail in their attempt to flee. Simultaneously, when is threatened with death, we see Xiao Bei surrender to Commissioner Yun in order to save Handsome's life. However, before she could be arrested, those gangsters arrive, those from whom Hansen had borrowed money, seizing the opportunity to transform into a box, taking Handsome and escaping from the location. but he was not prepared to let her go that easily. While running, Yu aims at a target with an arrow at the shooting area, injuring Xiaobei, who then becomes severely wounded. Seeing her condition, Hansen is at a loss of what to do, but then Xiaobei's hybrid friend arrives to help. She applies a special magical ointment on Xiaobei's wound, which heals her quickly. Along with this, it's revealed that Xiaobei's friend actually works in the movies. Hence, she changes the appearance of Shava and Hansen and takes them to see a film shoot. Yet, even at that location, trouble once again finds them, prompting Xiaobei to attempt another escape. Nevertheless, this instance finds their pursuer well equipped for the confrontation. Remarkably, had persuaded Hansen's father to accompany him, compelling both Hansen and Xiaobei to halt their flight. With a threat against his father's life, hands quivering, she reluctantly administers a syringe into her own neck. Owing to that event, she collapses on the spot and Yun takes her with him. The story then transitions to a period 3 months later, showing Hanson. With Xiaobei's assistance, he had amassed wealth yet remained deeply unsatisfied. In reality, had fulfilled his commitment and provided Anshan with such an immense amount of money that he had avoided all his prior predicaments. His father's condition had also improved, but Hansen was determined to do whatever it took to reclaim Xiaobei. Therefore, he travels to their old neighborhood. However, Hong is already there expecting him. Hong cautions Hansen about the mistake of surrendering Xiaobei to the ruthless Yun. Xiaobei has been confined within a unique detention facility, suffering from severe mistreatment. When Hansen learns about this from Hong, he implores Hong to find a way to grant him access to that jailhouse. He pledges to liberate Xiaobei. I will do whatever I can to save him. Here, after hearing this from Hansen, Hong takes him to a man and he turns the man's face into a face with his magic so that Hansen can easily enter the prison. They cross a bridge and reach the prison where Xiaobei was imprisoned. If he was in prison, he would not have any trouble going into prison. After which, he arrives in front of Xiaobei, whose memory has become a little blurred, meaning that Yun had completely erased Xiaobei's memory. Because of this, even when Hansen tries to remind him of himself by showing him his handprint, Xiaobei doesn't remember anything. Meanwhile, Hong comes here and tells Hansen not to waste time and quickly take Xiaobei out of here. Both immediately Xiaobei. It seems that in the meantime, there is an encounter with the real Yun. The people standing there were surprised to see the two Yuns. Observe, the authentic Sark makes its presence known by unfurling its wings, confirming its authenticity. In this scene, as the truth comes to light, it seeks an exit, but the sentinels swiftly encircle it. Concurrently, several inmates make an appearance. Attempting to flee via a subterranean passage, they unfortunately find themselves at the heart of this unfolding event. The wardens act to apprehend the escapees, and during the commotion, one of the detainees activates a mechanism, inadvertently freeing all the captives. Everybody becomes free, causing chaos to ensue. On the other hand, Xiaobei is not recognizable, making it very difficult for Handsome to run away with him. Tries to stop Handsome along with all the prisoners, but seeing him doing this, we pull him down to the ground and Handsome tries to hold them back in order to get away with Hong Xiaobei. Seeing Xiaobei escaping, goes at him with a knife, intending to strike. Observing his approach towards Xiaobei, Handsome instinctively positions himself before the blade, and as Handsome suffers an injury, Xiaobei appears to recall all that has happened. Fueled by rage, she expels Yun, which results in his apprehension due to the torment he inflicted on Xiaobei. Concurrently, the Home Commissioner receives a promotion. Elsewhere, Xiaobei and Handsome commence a joyful life side by side and eventually welcome a child into the world, marking the film's end.